from LA.
Welcome to another episode of Life Transformation Radio. We are live right here in Lake Tahoe at the Spartan Race World Championship, brought to you by ATP Science. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and I am your host, Master Resilience Implementer, TEDx speaker, business positioning strategist, and author, Sean Douglas. This show is currently heard in over 74 countries, so whether you're listening to us for the first time or you've been listening to us for a while, I want to thank you to those who are listening from around the world. Life Transformation Radio is all about our transformation. Here is where we tell the stories of why we do what we do. We highlight the transformational moments that change our lives and how we use it to then transform others and elevate their lives as well. You can listen to us live right here on the Blog Talk Radio Network, Tuesday through Friday. But today is a very special episode on this Saturday because we are here live with the Dean of Mean, Keith Jardine, former UFC fighter, a badass in his own right, and he has been in a bunch of different movies. And we're going to talk about something that he's very passionate about called Caveman Coffee. If you have any questions for any of the guests that I bring on the show, especially today, you can call us up at 657-383-1109. Again, the number is 657-383-1109. And you can subscribe, rate, and review the podcast wherever you are comfortable listening to shows. Our show is available on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, Player FM, Radio Public, Overcast, CastBox, the Himalaya app, and the Google Play Music app. Wherever you listen to podcasts, please subscribe and listen to the show. Please help me welcome to the show my guest for today, Keith Jardine. Keith, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, man. Wow, you're a TEDx speaker, 1010 TEDx. You did that before?
Yeah, 2017, I spoke at TEDx.
God damn, it's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Are we watching our language on this one?
No F-bombs, but
okay,
but
cool.
Yeah, it's pretty open.
Yeah, right on. So TEDx, that's awesome. How long did you talk for?
My talk was about 13 or 14 minutes, and I talked about fact-based positive psychology research studies that build resilience in your life.
Cool, man. How much did you train for that?
Couple years.
Sorry. How much do you trade for your talk?
Oh, how much did I
hear about when people do the TEDx talks, they do so much preparation.
Oh, yeah, hours. I mean, 2 weeks every day, about 2 to 3 hours a day. I was rehearse. You know, and I still feel like I didn't even get it right. You know, like I watch it back. I mean, it's been viewed almost 20,000 times.
Was it scripted?
No, it wasn't scripted.
So you just had you kind of winged it.
We just. I mean, I knew what I was going to talk about. I had my main points. I knew exactly, what I was going to say, when I was going to say it.
Yeah.
But when you get on that stage, it's like, you have a game plan until, like Mike Tyson said, you have a game plan until I punch you in the face.
Yeah.
And with the audience and the lights, and it's just like that pressure. I think I put it on myself though. That pressure. You know what I mean?
I hear so many stories about that. Do you want to do it again?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where did you do it at? What city?
I did it in Wilmington, Delaware.
Cool.
At TEDx Wilmington in December of 2017.
Where do you live?
I live in North Carolina.
Okay. So that's not too far.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Same coast.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
on.
So, go ahead.
We were talking about, missed a lot of conversation. We were talking about plant medicine. We're talking about how you believe the earth is flat.
No.
We're talking about,
I never.
Well, that was right.
No, I just think that before we were talking before the show, I think it would be kind of, maybe funny, maybe what if carbon dating was wrong? Maybe the earth isn't millions and millions and millions of years old. Maybe it's like 5,000 years old. Maybe it's 10,000 years old.
Nah, I don't.
You know what I mean?
I think we're billions of years old, right? We're about 2.5 billion. So I don't think if we're off, I don't think we're a couple billion to 500, 5,000. I think
quite a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
Right.
But what if we were wrong? What do you think? What would that mean?
I think that it would redefine the way that we look at history. I think it would redefine the way that we look at science. I think it would redefine the way that we looked at the earth. People think that, or they know that the sun is a star and stars die. So when the sun dies, the earth dies. But how long do stars last? Is it millions of years, 5,000 years, 20 million? Is it a billion years? Nobody knows.
Well, I think they do have
an idea, but nothing's set in stone. But
these guys are smart, man. Like I was telling you, but whenever people, like I like to question things too, man. But a lot of the conspiracy theorists like questioning science and all that. Like, I'm not saying that's you, man, but like, man, a lot of other really smart people would like to shoot these guys down, especially when the idea is new. They're like, no, goddamn, that ain't right. No, you're wrong. I'm right. And
right.
It has to stand the test of time. A lot of people smarter than me, and I don't know, man. There's got to. Yeah. Let's start talking about global warming. And I wonder how that would affect it, like if it was shorter and all that.
Right.
But I'll just think about, we were talking before, like you brought me on to talk about global warming, but I just had a thought, like in the whole grand time of what the Earth's time versus our time. Like if in 20 years is going to be the point of no return, like something bad is going to happen. I wonder about that science too. Like I wonder, like, is there really a consensus? I got to research that on myself too. But anyway, in the Earth's time, so they're going to wipe us out. Big deal. Earth's going to be all right. It's going to correct itself, and things are going to go on just fine. You know what I mean?
People forget that we literally went through an ice age not that long ago. Like, what? If everything's correct, the timeline, 1,000, 2,000, a couple thousand years ago, like there was an ice age.
Yeah, we're so
like 80% of the Earth was covered in snow and ice.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
you
just saying.
Guys got the numbers down.
He probably Googling it over here, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, the ice age was.
Yeah, we've been global warming for quite a bit, but
years ago.
It's supposed to be really advanced stuff, and I haven't been doing enough service to really do my research to say what science is right, what science is politics, and all that, because we're in a real world right now where it's like everything's politics and everything's my tribe versus your tribe. Well, this is a tribe saying that, so like how much of that is real? Like I know a certain amount of it's real, but how much? You know what I mean?
Yep.
The world was supposed to end a few years ago for something else. You guys are saying the same thing? Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So how do you filter that? Like, what's politics and what's real? You know, like I
don't get into politics. I don't get into.
What website can I look at that I can trust? Right.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
So let's learn a little bit more real quick as we dive in. Keith Jardine is an actor and a retired mixed martial artist who most notably competed in the UFC and Strikeforce. He's known for upset victories and bouts that he took on short notice against highly rated fighters. His best wins were in contests with former UFC lightweight heavyweight champions and UFC Hall of Famers Chuck Liddell and Forrest Griffin. In 2009, he started appearing in films such as Crank High Voltage, Gamer, John Wick, and even appeared in a Breaking Bad episode. He is also the co-founder of Caveman Coffee, designed for high-energy athletes, and the pirate life, which they describe as meaning not living the average helpless life and average health and a slow decline into accepted sickness. You can learn more. His Twitter and his Facebook are right there in the show notes. Go to cavemancoffeeco.com, cavemancoffeeco.com to learn more and get your hands on that incredible coffee. So
that's pretty good. Did you write that yourself?
I did.
Did you read it? You wrote that just now?
Yeah.
That's pretty good, man.
Thank you. So my first question is why? Why do you do what you do? Why be a UFC fighter? Why, get into coffee? Why acting? What is your deep why for what you do?
Yeah, just personal growth, I come from a real small town. I was just like this poor family in town, and I found wrestling, and that kind of gave me my first confidence ever. But I was always an insecure, shy guy. A lot of fighters are that way, so they're not as brash as Conor McGregor. A lot of them are just kind of like insecure people, and they're like, oh, well, I'm good at fighting, and I'm good at being suffering. I'm good at being tough. So if I could just beat everybody up in life, it'd be a lot easier. I was going to go beat up people in front of a lot of people, and that's how it started.
Yeah.
And then the personal growth only went a certain way from there. I won big fights, lost fights, but you can still hide a lot of insecurity in fighting, because it's easy to fight somebody because it's like, oh, that guy the guy over there in the center of the corner right now disrespects you. You get up and you're gonna fight him. Like, you don't have to think about it. It's an easy thing to do. So you can hide a lot of insecurities there and fighting. Mm-hmm. So now I get out of fighting and I go the big thing is acting. Oh my God, I'm gonna go into audition rooms and act like a fool in front of a lot of people. Like, that was a big thing for me. And so I think that's what led me there. And I got to a point now where I'm not terrified in an audition room anymore. I go out and I and I hammer it and I destroy it, and then I walk out, drop the mic and leave, and I'm pretty happy about it.
I like it.
And now I'm doing podcasts, and I was on a panel the other day where I used to be deathly afraid of being in front of a lot of people speaking, and now I'm doing that. So it's just like whatever, doing something that you're afraid of to help you grow, and hopefully you can turn that into a career.
Yeah. I think it's very interesting that you said that you can hide a lot of insecurities in fighting. I mean, for me, it takes a lot of courage for somebody to get up and want to fight in front of people, you know, and I think it's very interesting.
You're not, honestly. Like with fighting, is like, if you're tough, man, it's not really, the fighting part isn't hard. Like you just go and say you fight, you stand in millions of people watching you on one side of the cage, the other guy's on the other side of the cage, and that's kind of weird. But then in a second, you're going to be fighting, and that's not weird at all. You're trying to kill me, I'm trying to kill you. And you have a certain set of skills, I have a certain set of skills, and that's really natural.
Yeah.
But all the other stuff, you're right, and that's when insecurity plays. Getting into the ring's a hard part. You're never afraid of the guy you're gonna fight. Like that's like whatever. It's just like, how am I gonna perform? Like, how am I feeling? Is how much shape I am? Like, did I have a good camp? Did I not have a good camp? That kind of thing. I'm warming up and my punches aren't snapping. Oh my God, I'm not gonna be hitting very hard. And it's all like self-doubt,
psychological.
Yeah, once you get there and into the ring, get in a fight, like the way I look at it is, it's still a fight. But then you can still see UFC nowadays, like there's still a lot of real fighters there, a lot of them, but you still a lot of athletes there, more sportsmen now, and they're just playing the sport.
Yeah.
And for me, it was always just a fight.
And you've developed a lot of great relationships with fighters over the years. Rashad Evans.
Yeah, Rashad's a good buddy of mine. He's thinking making a comeback. I think he should test that, because he's certainly changed his life and his body.
Sure.
You look at him, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Who's who? Cowboy Donald Cerrone is one of my best friends, and he's still fighting, and he's reinvented himself time and time again in the octagon. And yeah, I got a lot of good relationships.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So the focus of the show is about transformation, and I don't think it's all sunshine and rainbows, and it takes hard work, especially UFC. I mean, it takes a lot. I mean, the road there isn't, I got to fight and all of a sudden, they just pick me up and all that. And even getting into acting, you still got to audition and some other things. But I really want to know, what is your transformational moment for you? What do you think put you on the path to what you're doing today?
I don't really know. I had transformation moments for sure, like exact moments. That's hard, but like I transitioned from fighting to acting. I had a fight that I fought a guy that he's an amazing fighter, one of the best jiu-jitsu guys ever lived. But I guess it's snowing outside. But yeah, I lost that fight. I was a shell of myself and all that. So am I going to keep doing this? Like, what's in the future? There's certainly no titles in the future right now, and I'm at a certain age and all that. Like, I kind of want to do it, I guess. But yeah, I had to really answer some questions, and so I love this acting thing, and I've always dreamt about this. I want to give this a go. So I'm going to jump with 2 feet, and I made that transition. In business all the time, like I made a lot of transitions. Even before fighting, like I was a football coach at a university.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I played football at a Division II college, and I'm coaching there. I worked my way up to defensive coordinator there, co-defensive coordinator. We won our conference championship that year, and we're very successful. And I could have I think I could have been really good at it and had a good career as a coach. But I saw myself, am I going to like myself in 10 years? Like, I still feel like I want to be an athlete. I'm being honest with myself. I'm kind of jealous of these athletes that I'm coaching, because I wish I could still be doing it. And now I'm just like I can be an old guy doing the same thing I'm doing right now. And that's when I started dabbling and training in MMA. And so I made the switch from that. Like, I had an opportunity to go follow the coaching path, and I knew that wasn't going to fulfill me at that time, and I could always do it later. So I'm going to try this MMA thing for a while. So there's been a lot of changes in my life that way.
Dude, when you came into Ultimate Fighter, man, like you were the first pick. Like that was freaking cool. And man, your fights were just like, you overwhelmed your opponent to where they didn't know what to do. And you were a machine, if you will. You just went in all the way.
I had some big wins and some big losses. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I've won on the biggest scale, millions of people watching, big underdog, and all that, and knocked out like heroes and all that. But
Yeah.
I've lost spectacularly equally as well. So how many people could say that?
Yeah. Well, most people can't even say that they've been even in the ring. So just the fact that you had enough, courage to do it, just speaks volumes.
I don't know anything about courage, really.
So after UFC, get into acting, talk about that.
That's courage, man. It's like I said, like I was talking about earlier, fighting is just natural,
Mhm.
Any tough guy can go fight. And I don't mean tough by being big and strong. If you're mentally tough, like you can go fight somebody, it's not that hard. You learn some skills and get a good mental game, like you're a good fighter. Just if you know how to suffer. Acting is you got to go in that audition room and act like some character and act a way that you never acted before and just make a fool of yourself, and they're judging, man. Those casting directors are looking at you, and they see the slightest bit of fear, you're done. You're not going to make it, because their job is to put a good actor in front of the director. And if they put an actor in front of the director and he on the day he doesn't do a good job, then maybe he's nervous, whatever, fumbles his lines and all that. Then the casting director did a good job, and they want to advance in this business too,
Mhm.
right? And they want to do good things, so they want to put people out there they trust. So they see any kind of nervousness in that audition room, you're done. So you got to deal with that, man, and you got to, man, like, I did 8 pages the other day, and I hammered it. But to believe in yourself, you're gonna go and do these 8 pages of intense lines that have different arcs and all that, and like be confident in yourself that way, man. That's a skill that took me a long time to learn.
Very cool.
If that's a question or not.
No, it totally did. And moving forward, so you went into Caveman Coffee, and you become a co-founder of that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I got into and when I was done fighting, I wasn't very healthy, and that's why I lost a lot of fights, actually, because you start losing fights. The thing is you lose a fight, well, I'm going to go back and I'm going to train harder and whatever than ever before. So then you lose another fight, and then, I'm going to go back and train harder than that. And then, so I can tell you some things I invented to training that was just like insane. And then, so by the time I actually fought at the end, like my hormones, I was like an old man, like a cripple walking around, like, and now I'm going to fight. Like, thought I dropped to 85, which compounded everything. Like, I had my hormones tested afterwards. I was really like an 80-year-old man. And then, so I met Tate Fletcher, and he started talking to me about nutrition and diet. And I thought I had a good diet because I had a nutrition class in school. I went to college. I got a degree in exercise science, but the food pyramid shit is all bullshit. So we started doing a paleo diet, which led to other things and started making me feel healthy. And part of that was intermittent fasting and doing the whole butter coffee things, which we were in the start of that. And so we started selling coffee, but it was more of a vehicle to talk about this new lifestyle that changed my life, this health and fitness lifestyle. And it had different manifestations that grew and grew. And now this last year, we come up with this cold brew in a can, this Caveman Nitro coffee. And we were the #1 new product on Amazon for a bunch of the first part of the year.
Oh, wow.
And we're one of the fastest growing companies in the country right now, coffee companies in the country right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how do you elevate the world around you through either, by that company or by the way that you lead your life now? How do you elevate the world around you? When you come into a room, people are going to know who you are in most cases. How do you elevate the world around you? What do you tell people?
That's an interesting question. I don't think about elevating the world around me, I guess on the podcast like we're doing right now, you have an outreach and you can do big things with social media and all that. But for me, it's about how you treat the individual person that you see. like holding a door for somebody to come into the store behind you,
Mhm.
things like that. Just treating any person you see with dignity and respect. That's all I'm about. I'm not going to grandstand like we just talk about money I donate to charity or things like that. I do that. I should do a lot more of that. But I think the more thing is if we all in the individual, like I'm sure there's a lot of people on podcasts talking about what amazing people they are, but they still don't treat the one-on-one situations very well.
Right.
And I think that's what life's about.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
You know, I make fun of people on Facebook sometimes. I call them Facebookpreneurs.
Yeah.
They talk about like how awesome their companies are, their businesses, whatever. And then you might see them and you're like, dude, you can't even afford like a plane ticket to go speak somewhere.
Yeah.
Or like you're not even holding the door open for people, or you're just treating people with disrespect, and like you're so narcissistic and egotistical.
Ooh.
It's like
I've seen it a lot. It's that fame bug, man. It's like I've seen it in fighting a lot too. I had to deal with it. Everybody deals with it now. All of a sudden you're nobody, absolutely nobody. Now you're somebody, and girls want you. You can get into clubs. You can do all the things. Get a table, like a $40,000 table for free at a club, and it's like, oh my God, what is amazing. And then people want to interview you and whatever, and like people treat that fame in a weird way. I've seen it in so many people, and it breaks my heart now. I dealt with it too.
Yeah.
And my close friends, all my good friends dealt with it too. And like some people don't deal with it, and they become, like you said, the narcissistic kind of people. And the thing is, you got to remember is if you're a public person, like you're a public person and you're making money and selling products because people like you, because people want to watch you, and like, you got to serve that, man. Like,
yep.
Athletes, I hate that with athletes, like NFL play people and stuff like that too. Like, God damn, man. Like if nobody showed up to the game, man, you won't make no money. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. You're not entitled. You're not entitled to anything.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
As we start to close the show, I want to give you an opportunity to shamelessly plug whatever it is that you want the audience to know and to do. You can, plug programs, products, services, whatever it is that you want the audience to know and to do after the episode.
I say just, follow me on social media, follow Caveman Coffee and all that. And if you like what we're doing, you can buy some coffee. If you're not, whatever, it doesn't matter. But it'd be cool if you follow myself, take Caveman, and just like get into that whole new, our motto at Caveman Coffee is pirate your life back, pirate your life back, steal your life back.
Yep.
If you're stuck in a job or in a life that's not fulfilling, whatever, there's ways you can break out of that. And it's actually not even that hard. It's just what you do in your downtimes defines you, and what are you doing when you're not working? That's what makes you. That's who you are. And there's a whole community of people here on the internet that you can find that'll mentor you, and that's kind of what we're about. And if you like us, buy the coffee. I don't care.
I love it, man. I love it. So the last question I have for you is, what would you say to someone that would motivate, transcend, and inspire them to take action on whatever their dream is?
Can you say that to me again?
Yeah. What is one thing that you would say to somebody that would motivate them, transcend, and inspire them to take action on their dream?
Man, I can't take action on your dream.
On their dream.
You know what? I can't do that in a short thing. I would say two things. One of the big things, we always think that guy doing that great thing was special. Like he's smarter than us, better athlete than us, something. That guy had more fortune or whatever. That guy is special. That guy is not special. That guy is just some bum that's pretending to be somebody. And you can be who that guy is if you put your time in. And like what I said a second ago, what you do in your downtime defines you. You don't have any time. How do you organize your life? You go to work 8 hours a day. Like, what do you do when you get home? What do you do before you go to work? You can organize that. And if you're really good and some luck there and whatever you're doing in that downtime, whatever that passion is will turn into your career, and you'll be able to quit that other thing. I think that was your question, right?
I love it.
All
no,
right, cool.
Absolutely, man. So I followed your career all the way from UFC 66, Ultimate Fighter.
Terry Shaw.
Man, I
Not
absolutely.
Terry Shaw. That was
I mean, I'm just
Mike
saying,
Whitehead.
when I met, when James, introduced me, I was like, no way. And I totally like fanboyed out, like embarrassingly, but man, I have such a respect for you and everything that you've accomplished. And I loved watching your career. And, I'm looking forward to what you have in the future. So very cool to have you on the show, man. It means a lot to me.
Thank you, dude.
So Life Transformation Radio, an amazing guest impacting the world around him. If anything that you have heard today resonated with you, please contact him and let him know that you heard him here on Life Transformation Radio. And with that, I close the show by saying, live your brand. Find opportunities every day to live out the core values that you hold deep in your heart. And I call this living your brand. So until next episode, live a great life.